All right, good morning, everybody. I hope that you get a chance to watch this sometime today. As you know, we've not been meeting in our class about this book, and so that's probably going to continue to be something that we do not do. When we come back together on Sunday, those that have been in that class will probably go back to their normal classes, but we're going to continue this online for those who want to follow. And today, of course, I am in this Joshua Code. It's by O.S. Hawkins, 52 scripture verses every believer should know. And I always want to clarify that because these are thoughts and ideas that come from his book. And we're on lesson 21 today, and the title of it is Gone Fishing. That's the title of his little devotion for the day. And he uses the scripture, and he says we ought to know this when it says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." It's from Mark chapter 1, verse 17. "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Mark 1:17. We think about the idea of who follows Jesus and who he would get to follow him. You know, today, if we were to choose people to follow us, we might go out and like ask for applications or resume, and then a lot of churches I know will go through these resumes. They'll look at the educational background, the experience, all those sorts of things, and kind of from that begin to say, well, this was our best candidate. Now, when Jesus went out, he didn't do that necessarily. Of course, he's Jesus. He sees, through what we can not see through, and he sees the heart. He sees their ideas and what they will be. But he didn't choose the Pharisees. He didn't choose those who had a great education necessarily. As for his disciples, his apostles, he just chose regular fishermen for the most part. I know Matthew was a tax collector and different things like that, but a lot of them were fishermen. Now, you think about a fisherman, you think, I don't know, is that really who, he should have chosen? Well, of course he should have. He's Jesus, and he used that verse when he called them. He even used it with Matthew, "Follow me, follow me, follow me." And he used it several times as he called them out of their life that they were naturally in. Now, today we cannot necessarily devoid ourselves of our normal vocation unless, God is just calling us into a full-time vocation, such as my position or maybe a missionary or something like that. But we still have to do our vocation, but we can still follow him, right? As you walk through your day. And he uses this verse as an illustration of what a real follower of Christ should have as far as some characteristics, character traits. And so this guy, O.S. Hawkins, used an experience in his life with a fisherman, and he brought out some points. But I want to just use my own experience and to bring out some points. So the other day, not too long ago, we were out at the lake and we were on the boat fishing, my wife and I. My wife loves to fish, as a lot of you know already. Man, she loves to bass fish, and she has her certain lures that she wants to have, and those are the ones she uses. And so she was sitting there throwing and casting. She said, "Man, that's where that big 10-pounder is." She'll throw it out there. She said, that's the one I want to land right in there. And every spot, that looks like a great spot. And so she's always positive in her thinking as to what she's going to catch. She goes out with an expectation of catching something. Today's the day. This is the moment. This is the hole. This is the spot. This is where that big one's going to be. And I think Jesus, when he called the fishermen, wanted that character trait, that positive thought about, hey, this is the day, this is the one, this is the place, this is when it's going to happen. But you can be positive and throw out a few times, and all of a sudden, hey, it's not working. We're not catching anything. Let's go home. Well, that's not the case. My wife, that's maybe more with me. But my wife is very persistent. She'll continue on. I mean, if we've got to be done at 3 in the afternoon, I mean, she's pressing that and saying, hey, no, now let's just right here, I'll finish this, and I'll stay with this one, and then we'll go. And so she was very persistent. It's not enough to just be positive. You have to be persistent, because sometimes, especially in bass fishing, it's not like you throw out there every time and get a bite, and even less to actually get something on your line. And so you got to be persistent. You got to continue to go and have a never give up attitude, that just waiting for that moment. And then you got to be patient, because like I said, you don't often get a bite every time you throw out, or even a strike or a hit or whatever you want to call it. You don't all normally land one every time you throw out there. That'd be great if you did, but you have to be patient with that. You can be persistent and positive, but you also have to be patient. Switching maybe lures. You think, hey, this one's not working, I'm going to try this one out for a little while. Let me try this color of worm, or this brush hog, or whatever it might be. And you try different things to find out, what are they biting now? And in the same way, as people of God who are following Him and being fishers of men, we need to be positive. Hey, this is the person that, today is the day that they're going to hear from God. They're going to hear God. They're going to follow Him. Be persistent in that. It's not like you beat them down. You're not like driving it in their head necessarily. But be persistent in the fact that you continually love them, continually show them, and be patient. In your approach, you might not things that worked back in the day might not work today. For some reason or another. Maybe it's just different things for different people. And so you be patient and try different avenues, to try to help people come to know Christ. I don't think Jesus wanted anyone who was locked into one way of doing things and say, this is the way we do it, and we're going to do it like this forever. Well, no, not necessarily. I don't think that, when Jesus was choosing people to follow Him, I think He was choosing people to be able to say, hey, I'm going to be patient, and I might even change up the way that I do things because it's not working necessarily. And then passionate as well is another word that comes to this man's mind as he puts these words in here. And so the other day, as we were fishing, like I said, and my wife said, today I want to catch that big 10-pounder. And guys, it wasn't long after that she threw out there and she got a hit, and it just sunk it down there, bent her pole over. It was like the movement of the water and everything. I could tell, hey, this is the biggest fish I think she's ever gotten on the line. I mean, it was just a big old hog, if you will. And I was scrambling. I put my pole down real quick, scrambling for the net. And man, by the time I got over there, she had it up by the boat, and that thing just sunk her rod down underneath the boat. Maybe we should have let it run a little bit, but man, when it went under that boat, I grabbed the line and I was going to try to pull it up, and all of a sudden, as we all know this happens, that line snapped, and man, it was gone. Now, she was sick over this. I want you to know it took her a while to get over it, and me too a little bit, because I wanted it. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see how big it was. I wanted it for her because it would have made her day. But she was so frustrated that it didn't get in there. And you know what? I think that's a good quality, a character trait when you're being a fisher of men. You're positive, man, you're persistent in your work, you're patient to, wait and change up and do things differently, but you're very passionate. You want people to come to Christ. And when one doesn't, it bothers you, it hurts you. But when they do, man, what a blessing. And so today, as you remember this verse, I'd say this: be positive. I'll just read what he said. Be positive. Start looking for an answer in every problem. Be persistent. Never give up. Be patient. Try some different methods. And be passionate. Always hate to lose one. Jesus said, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Mark 1:17. God bless you today. I hope that you are able to make this a lifetime verse and become a fisher of men. Talk to you later.